Hey everybody, welcome back to LEGO Space. So today we're going to do another update on the LEGO Technic Bugatti. And as you can see, I'm a little bit further than the last video where I was still working on the two halves of the frame separately. Mated them together in what they call the marriage. Everything went really smooth there, didn't have any issues. So that's good, because that's a big time when you know if you screwed something up. So was able to do it the first time when I first built this car without any problems, and then this time with all the modifications and doing everything in black, stuff was a lot harder to see, so I was a little bit more worried about stuff going together. But everything went together really nice. Everything's looking really good. You guys can see we're starting to build the back end up a little bit here. And can I get this around here? I forgot how heavy this car is once it finally starts to get together, so it's a good thing I decided to beef up the suspension with these blue shocks. That'll hold that weight a lot nicer. So on this side here, you guys can kind of see the gearbox that I had mentioned in the last video that was not on there yet for the gear selector, for a visual gear selector. Now, I'm doing this a little different from how the mock wants me to do it. I used a number 4 backed axle, and they originally wanted you to use a number 5, so it's stuck up more, and then you would put one of these offset pieces on there, and it would kind of stick up from the dash. I didn't like how that looked, so I decided to make the executive decision on doing a shorter shaft there, and I probably won't have such a pronounced gear selector, but I will still have something visually to look at while going through the gears. Just like with the Porsche, this has a dead stop built into the gearing, so that way you can only go so far one way and so far the other way. So the gear selector isn't 100% necessary. I could honestly do without it, but it is cool. It is neat. I am totally into adding more gears when unnecessary gearing, if you might call it. So yeah, you guys can see everything's rolling along really good. I can move everything. I don't feel a lot of binding. There is a little bit of delay just with some of those clutch gears. Those little nubs take kind of a quarter of a rotation to engage, so you still get a little lag through that, but that's to be expected. Everything else seems to be working really good. I've gone through the gears on the paddle shifters. Everything works really good. This is still kind of loosey-goosey, so I'm not going to go through the gears again until I kind of get the dash on that, because this kind of flops around and binds up. So have to get that done. And so far everything's been going good. The same deal with the instructions on this. I'm basically just getting like a parts list and then a picture showing the whole thing built. And some areas it's been pretty easy, like this is pretty self-explanatory. Other things haven't. There's been a lot of the body pieces, of course, have been pretty easy because everything's pretty specific colored. But a lot of these pins and some of the inner workings of the frame, some of the pictures really threw me off for a couple minutes. I really had to take a close look, study them, even kind of jump ahead a little bit to see if I could see a flip side of it. So the instructions on this one are, I would say, definitely are a little bit more complicated with some of your visual cues on what to do just because there isn't really any visual cues. Like I said, you basically get your parts list, and then you get a picture of everything assembled. So you really gotta pay close attention. That was one of my That's been really been my only struggle on the car so far, is just really paying attention to the instructions, making sure I'm doing everything correct, and especially when it came time to putting the two halves of the chassis together. Uh, it's a stressful enough moment if you're building it as is out of the box, so it's a little bit more exciting to get all that laid through. But I mean, it's going pretty good so far. I'll see if I can get some light on there so you guys can really see in there. You guys can see the black nub gears that I installed right there. I had just enough for this whole kit, because this kit used along with the changes in the system over here to getting your gearing over to this side. I think there was one extra nub gear put into place there, so definitely got lucky on having that. But yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, you guys can still see a little bit of the gearing down there. Just kind of sad because the gearbox in this thing is really cool. And see if I can lift it up here carefully. And I mean, you do get a nice view of it on the bottom. You definitely get to see the your new center differential. That's nice in plain view. They don't cover that, along with the rear diff. Your front diff is definitely tucked away up in there pretty good. But I mean, you get to see a little bit of the gearing yet, so it's not all lost in the build. But it does suck that you can't just look at that stuff. I would love to, and I know Lego doesn't make some of these parts in clear, but it would be a really cool car to have completely clear parts. All clear parts, build the whole car in clear parts so you can really see through to the gearing. That would be something pretty cool, but it would probably be impossible, because I don't think even off-brands make some of these pieces in clear. So, but it would be cool, just that you could see everything. But as long as it all works properly and everything runs smooth, I mean, that's all you can really ask for. Let's see if I can do a little shift here. Can't remember which way is which, because I am... Okay, that's the dead stop that way. Yeah. You guys can see it on the other side. You have to... I think it's a couple gears to get to this one here, but like I said, I don't want to run it through too many gears quite yet, just because this is still kind of... This likes to catch up on stuff, because it can wiggle back and forth there. So but yeah, really cool progress so far. I'm liking it. I really am glad that I'm kind of doing the more darker coloring on the frame, hiding a lot of that brighter colored stuff. Of course, some things we are still using the light gray and dark gray for, just to kind of break it up a little bit, because if it was 100% black, then a lot of the stuff would that you kind of want to see would get a little lost. So it is kind of nice having little visual cues here and there of gray, especially since the engine itself is in the gray. So tried to keep the tops of my suspension in the dark gray to kind of add a little extra color, and then just kind of make it look cool. Do a couple little different changes here. I mean, you could go really crazy and build it with all sorts of different colors and just have a super multicolored car. That would be pretty cool. I think if I had another one of these, I would love to do like a really multicolored one, have every piece, try to really build up a nice color palette on the car and just make it look pretty wild. But I do love the classic look of this car. So but yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Just a little update. The next update on this, I'm probably just going to have the car finished. Really all that's left is just a lot of the body parts, and that's the easy stuff. We got through all the hard stuff with doing the modding of the gearing, and all the mods are pretty much done. I did skip a mod on this before I forget. There was a mod to have a handle right about here where you could turn it and it would actuate the spoiler instead of just having to use the key piece that you make and fold out and stick underneath and turn. That function was left, but the mock had a gearbox that would have been built basically right in this area here. This all would have been kind of a little gearbox, and then it would have came up here. This piece would have been gone, and I think this piece too would have been gone, and there was a handle right here. That I really didn't like how it looked. Not only were we missing nice body pieces, but it kind of left a hole here, and then the handle kind of stuck up a little bit. While it's convenient for getting the spoiler up and down, just having a handle right there real nice and quick, it did take a look. It did take away from the look of the car, so I opted out of that one. But that was an option in this particular mock of having a basically a hand of God wheel for the spoiler action. It was cool. It was neat. But this really affected the nice flowing look on the back of the car. Something like this I can work with, but something like this that completely took away nice dark blue pieces, I just didn't like that. And like I said, it's stuck up, and that's the reason why we changed this, because that was going to really stick up. So, at the end of the day, it's what you want. You don't have to follow a mock to the T. Now on the Porsche, I did follow it. I did follow the mock to the T. Nothing took away from the body. Nothing took away from any visual, anything like how the car actually looked. Nothing took away from that. But this one, we were going to have an issue there and a slight issue there, but I was able to keep this and just kind of come up with a different idea. But this I really didn't like, so we decided to completely start from scratch and just kind of build it normal. And to do that, since these instructions on the computer were specifically set for this, I basically just did mirror building, where I know both of these fenders use the same exact parts. They plug in the exact same way. Everything on the car is built really symmetrically and even back here. So I basically just, as I was building this fender, I built this one, just the opposite view of it, and was able to get all that back without, being lazy and not just looking in the books that I have right there. I just decided to mirror build it a little bit quicker. So there's just a couple things that I decided to change, a couple things that I wasn't 100% happy with. So you guys will get to see it all come together in the next video. The next video will probably be the last update for this car. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. I feel like I did a pretty good job about showing you guys kind of most of the inner workings as we went along, how stuff was going to work, some of the changes that I made and the mock made. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys have been enjoying these Technic car videos. After this car is done, we're going to go into another little video series. Don't know how many videos I'm going to make out of it. These just so happen to be both 4 videos, and still be able to kind of show you guys everything that's going on. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care.